Man is looking in the mirror. Suddenly he saw something moving on his face. The next second, there was a spider crawling out of his mouth. You and I outside the screen are raising our arms and shouting. In this case it must be fried. When terrifying alien creatures appear in the space capsule, how should a lonely astronaut save himself? The latest sci-fi space flight thriller in 2024 is coming. Some sunny noon. A bright purple cloud hangs in the sky. People are busy as usual, but when everyone raised their heads, only then did I discover. The sky is filled with strange purple clouds. At first, no one paid much attention to it. I just think it's exhaust gas from a factory. However, it has been a long time. This attracted the attention of the United States. However, investigations by the United States confirmed. This cloud is not from the Earth, but originating from the distant edge of the solar system. This weird cloud range is growing at an alarming rate. When the satellite flies over to observe, it has spread to the vicinity of Uranus. So humans took this mysterious cloud, named Chopra, in order to explore the truth about the Purple Nebula. The Chopra project came into being. Finally, Brother Chang was sent into space as an astronaut. After 200 days and nights of sailing, Brother Chang finally reaches the orbit of Jupiter. At this time, the scope of the nebula also followed closely behind. Brother Chang quickly communicated with the ground, reported the arrival of the spacecraft at its destination, and took pictures of the Purple Nebula. The long exploration mission made Brother Chang feel lonely, and his wife Sister Jean, also enduring this kind of suffering. The couple comforted each other through video messages. However, over time, Sister Jin's mood has changed significantly. In the video, Sister Jean bursts into tears, expressing a desire to end the marriage. This video will undoubtedly bring psychological burden to Brother Chang. After watching the video, the superior leader looked solemn, said that Brother Chang must never be allowed to see this video. But Brother Chang, who is far away in space, has no idea about this, because there is no news from my wife for a long time. I miss you dearly. Trying to talk to wife via satellite phone, but Sister Jean chose to ignore it. Brother Chang mistakenly thought that his wife was not at home, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. But his lonely heart made it difficult for him to sleep. Brother Chang often takes sleeping pills to fall asleep. However, Brother Chang didn't realize it. Mysterious nebula in space has had an impact on him. Just as Brother Chang fell into sleep, there was a noise in the cabin. He hurried to the cabin to check, found out it was just the hairdryer that was faulty. At this time, he noticed something strange in the mirror. There was something crawling in his flesh. The frightened Brother Chang was at a loss. Just when he was trying to dig the spider out, Brother Chang suddenly woke up from his dream. It turns out that everything just now was an illusory dream. Not only Brother Chang is affected by the Purple Nebula, the space capsule's equipment also failed one after another. Half the cameras on the spacecraft are broken. But Brother Chang is not worried about this. I haven't contacted my wife for a week. He hopes that the ground can help find. Anxious Brother Chang dialed his wife's phone number again. But no one answered the phone. At this time, a sudden noise connected the phone. Opposite is a man's voice. Don T. Understand what happened? Brother Chang asked who the other party was. The other party did not respond. Brother Chang immediately contacted the ground. Indicates communication interference. However, after investigation, ground personnel did not notice the phenomenon of communication being occupied. Brother Chang speculated that he might have been attacked by hackers. However, the ground personnel said, this possibility is almost zero. He also asked Brother Chang if the other party was speaking Korean. Brother Chang denies it. Ground personnel said they would conduct further investigation, and informed Sister Jin's whereabouts. He is on his way to see his mother. After waking up, Brother Chang rushed to the living area. What surprised him was, things are flying everywhere here, as if someone had moved. But when he opened the hatch, a huge spider suddenly appeared in the cabin. Brother Chang was so frightened that he quickly closed the cabin door. He immediately contacted the ground personnel. I hope to retrieve the surveillance footage from the cabin. But ground personnel said the monitoring inside the cabin had failed. Brother Chang suspected that he was hallucinating. So he carefully opened the hatch. Want to confirm if there are really spiders in the cabin. As a result, the hatch is opened. Spiders are not only, and even talk to him. Brother Chang is at a loss, so he quickly returned to the work cabin, and closed the airlock, quickly changed into a spacesuit. Ground personnel asked him why he closed the airlock. Brother Chang said he was ready to start the air purification process, to avoid the spillage of pollutants. However, sensors on the ground did not detect any abnormalities. At Brother Chang's insistence, ground staff applied. The response was, Brother Chang needs to advertise the sponsors before starting the disinfecting. It turned out that in order to raise funds, NASA has sponsored a lot of equipment, bringing a profitable business to outer space. Helpless Brother Chang had no choice but to do as he was told, reciting the sponsor's speech impassionedly. After everything is ready, Brother Chang started the air purification program. The entire cabin was instantly surrounded by yellow smoke. Shrouded in yellow smoke, Brother Chang, who was in a daze, actually saw his wife's back. Maybe I miss my wife too much. Brother Chang hopes that the ground can be arranged as soon as possible. Not long after, the disinfection work was successfully completed. He looked into the cabin through the hatch. The big spider in the cabin has disappeared without a trace. Brother Chang thinks the spider has been eliminated. So he opened the hatch to confirm. As a result, a spider passed over his head and said he would not hurt him. A talking spider. This made Brother Chang instantly doubt his life. Did he hallucinate again? But the spider said everything was true. Brother Chang wants to reach out and touch, but the spider rejected him due to ethnic customs. Because their bodies are inviolable. Return to work cabin. He can still see the big spider. At this moment, the big spider claims that he comes from another universe. A few years ago, he passed through the solar system and discovered human civilization. Since then, I have been attracted to humans. He's lurking in Earth orbit. Start learning about human culture and language. Months ago, he discovered Brother Chang's spaceship. I originally planned to study him for a day or two, but after a closer look, he was deeply attracted to Brother Chang. After listening to Spider's self-introduction, Brother Chang felt very unbelievable. He always thought that the scene in front of him was just an illusion. So I hurriedly returned to the rest cabin. I took a lot of sleeping pills. I thought the hallucination would disappear once I slept. But when he opened the hatch again, that big spider is still there. And the spider also created an illusion of his wife. Hope that in this way, let Brother Chang get out of his emotional distress. But Brother Chang showed resistance to this. After getting along for a period of time, Brother Chang discovered that the spider was not hostile. So he tried to communicate with the spider. To express goodwill, Brother Chang took out some jam for the other party to enjoy. Spiders like this smell very much. Learn from the spider's mouth. His hometown, destroyed by a civilization called Gopro. He has been wandering in the universe for many years, and the reason why he can reach the solar system, it also goes back to the nebula outside the spacecraft. They come from the beginning. These particles are the starting point of the universe. All life is closely related to it. At this time, wife's vision appears again. Brother Chang doesn't understand why Spider does this. But the spider said, these illusions all come from Brother Chang's heart. The relationship between the two makes Spider very curious. Even the suppressed emotions were passed on to him. For Sister Jean, she felt lonely when she was pregnant. In order to get rid of the shackles of this feeling, she has already made up her mind to break up. However, Brother Chang was always kept in the dark. Even in dreams, he also dreamed of a pig. In the company of spiders, Brother Chang's loneliness has been reduced a lot. Spider mentioned his father, and his father's memory was awakened in Brother Chang's mind. As the spacecraft approaches the nebula, Brother Chang began to prepare for his own collection. At this moment, the screen suddenly played the previous video call between the two. The chat between the two was not pleasant. Just when Brother Chang had an emotional breakdown, the lights in the cabin suddenly went out. A shining purple particle suddenly appeared. Brother Chang reacted immediately. This is just what he needs to collect from Chopra. Brother Chang quickly found a glass bottle, trying to collect light power. However, when he trapped the light particles penetrated the bottle and floated out. Spider pointed out to Brother Chang. Initial particles cannot be captured. Brother Chang turned to using a vacuum cleaner to capture. He wants to get in touch with the ground, but they found that the communication at this time had already been interrupted. At this time, the power of light once again attracted Brother Chang's attention. They were scattered around the cabin. Follow their tracks. Brother Chang noticed the nebula outside the cabin. A sudden flash of light surprised him. The spider indicates that this is the initial approach, and told Brother Chang not to be afraid, because it won't hurt them initially. However, the figure of my wife reappeared. In Brother Chang's mind, the past about my wife flashed again. It turns out that my wife regrets her original choice. Brother Chang left after getting pregnant. Loneliness in space makes Sister Jean even more tortured. This caused a rift in the relationship between the two. Think of this. Brother Chang suddenly thought of the satellite phone. He quickly made contact with the ground, but their conversation was interrupted by a spider. I learned from Brother Chang's experience. His loneliness is all caused by him. Spider wants Brother Chang to complete the task as soon as possible. This way he can leave here easily. Don't want to be abandoned by spiders. Brother Chang kept begging him to stay, but his selfishness was rewarded with a warning from the spider. The spider then left the cabin, and Brother Chang never found him again. Shortly after losing contact with the ground, Brother Chang made contact with the ground personnel again. At his request, the staff handed the phone to Sister Jean. Brother Chang expressed his concern for his wife. He also expressed his guilt towards his wife. The lonely space made him understand. Going home is the most important thing. Sister Jean was silent. Brother Chang could only hang up the phone silently. After feeling relieved, the spider came to the space capsule again. The unfortunate encounter caused the two species to cherish each other. They comfort each other with hugs. As time goes by, Brother Chang finally arrived at Nebula. According to original plan, Brother Chang is about to go on a collection mission. Before that, Brother Chang had a live broadcast with the ground. After everything is ready, Brother Chang started the collection program. A huge fishing net pounces on the nebula. However, not long after the instrument was started, the cabin was subject to strong electromagnetic interference. Instructions from ground personnel. Abnormal collector data detected. They asked Brother Chang to suspend collection. However, Brother Chang is no longer in a cockpit at this moment. He saw the spider actually ran outside the cabin, worried that the other party is in danger. Brother Chang immediately put on the spacesuit. Despite the dissuasion of ground personnel, he took the disinfectant and left the cabin. Pushed by reaction force, Brother Xia Chang successfully caught up with the spider. However, the big spider told Brother Chang, he has been targeted by Gopro. His body is being gradually eaten away. In order to thank Brother Chang for the hospitality, Spider decided to spend the rest of his life accompanying Brother Chang, and guide him to witness the beginning of the universe. Immediately afterwards, the Spider took Brother Chang and headed towards the depths of the nebula. Soon, the two of them stepped into the interior of the nebula's initial place. There are light groups constantly shuttled here. This is the beginning and the end. Every light and shadow here, that is the past, also the future. It records everything in the world. It also includes all the emotions of Brother Chang. Suddenly, Brother Chang's body was stretched infinitely. After some panic, Brother Chang came to another dimension. It's like a purple ocean here, seemingly empty. In fact, it is all-encompassing. In a daze, Brother Chang sees his wife again. The two looked at each other and smiled, just like when we first met when we fell in love. Brother Chang suddenly realized, it is not the mysteries of the universe that he desires, but the person you love most. Spider reminds Brother Chang. Their time is running out. To express gratitude, Brother Chang took out a can of food from his sleeve. Spider waving tentacles. A clear passage appeared in front of him. After the Spider tasted the delicious food, the body begins to fade away. After Brother Chang reluctantly said goodbye, a rescue spacecraft appeared in front of him. Under the guidance of purple light, Sister Jean looked up at the sky, as if sensing her husband's gaze. In the ethereal chaos, Brother Chang finally awakened the desire deep in his heart. At this moment, he just wants to return to his long-awaited home. Go back to your beloved wife. Back to space capsule. Brother Chang contacted his wife immediately. I learned that my husband was safe and sound. Sister Jean just wants him to go home quickly. Around the eternal theme of love, the director wraps human loneliness in the code of science fiction. No matter where I go, love in human hearts will bind each other.